Medium. We're live streaming right here. Going to talk about the B12 show a little bit, the B12 episode. Really important because I'm getting a lot of questions now coming in like, do I need B12? Are my B12 levels okay? They're too high. Are they too low? What does B12 do? How does it work in my body? And I talk about it in the episode B12, Trick or Treat. You don't get it from me. I talk about it in that episode at Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. You want to check that episode out. But I'm going to talk about neurological symptoms too because the B12 goes hand in hand with neurological symptoms. If you're battling something neurologically and you need help neurologically, B12 is one of the key pieces that has to be involved, and it has to be the right kind of B12. It can't be the wrong kind of B12 because the wrong kind of B12 is not going to get you improvements, and then you'll be like, oh, I tried that or I did that. I tried B12 and it didn't work, and then you get cheated out of healing or cheated out of getting a chance to really move forward and do some healing and all that. Guys, great to see you. So Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts, that's the official uncensored platform. That's where you hear it. So make sure you hear the B12 episode and the neurological symptom episode. And I want to talk about both of them because there's so many questions. The B12 show just completely kicked something off with everybody. It really kind of hit everybody in a way where kind of like the apple cider vinegar episode. Did you listen to the apple cider vinegar episode? The teeth dissolver? Did you hear that episode? And I know a lot of you guys are apple cider vinegar drinkers and you're into it, and I totally get it. It's the best one out there. But if you check out that episode, you'll learn that, whoa, it gives teeth problems. Even if you dilute it, it doesn't matter if it touches the teeth or not. Check that apple cider vinegar episode. That really triggered off the torches and pitchforks, and you wouldn't believe what was being fired at me with that one. Bullets were being fired at me with that one. Anyway, the whole point is that I want to talk about the B12 episode, the neurological system episode too, because neurological symptoms, because both those relate to each other. They're so important. And that B12 episode about B12 not coming from meat. Yes, meat has it. Yeah. You know, I'm pro people who do the animal-based diets. I'm pro people who do the plant-based diets. And you know, all of it, I just want you to be able to get what you need, information you need, so you can heal and protect yourself. So that when you get your fatigue and your aches and pains and your jaw pain and your neck pain and your back pain and your dizziness and your vagus nerve that I talk about all in the neurological symptoms episode. So remember, when you get any of these things going on, the phrenic nerve, the vagus nerve that I've been talking about for 35 years, if something's going on, you get the dizziness, the vertigo. Medical Medium Information is the first that put out the dizziness, the vertigo, the being involved with the vagus nerve, the nausea being involved with the vagus nerve, all these different symptoms, and how B12 is critical when you're dealing with vagus nerve issues. And the anxiety, vagus nerve and phrenic nerve. So anxiety, depression, those two are really important right there. So Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. Subscribe so you can be notified, you guys, when the episode comes out, because each episode coming out is at a different time. They're not on a schedule where it's exactly the same day of the week or the same hour of the week, because I'm sitting there working hard trying to get these episodes done and get them out to you. And so it might be on a different day. And really, you got to subscribe to Apple Podcasts, just to the Medical Medium Podcast. That's all. You don't have to, kill yourself, subscribing to all this stuff. No, just Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. You can be notified when that episode immediately goes out there. Like when that episode, boom, gets launched out there. It's a free resource. You don't have to pull your wallet out. It's a free resource. These are docu-series style episodes. They're not throwaways. They're not coffee talk, have guests on and you do the coffee talk and it's just a throwaway and another one guest on and another one guest on. And you just throw them away until there's just hundreds of them. It's not that kind of thing. The Medical Medium Podcast is about saving lives. It's about information that has already saved lives. The record of saving lives. Proof is in the pudding. And the street cred is there, and it's about helping people heal, and people with neurological problems, people with all kinds of different symptoms and conditions. So it's about inspiration, it's about bringing lives back, it's about taking things to the next level. Make sure you subscribe. I'm glad everybody's here. So the B12, Julia says, the B12 episode amazed me. We'll be trying to spend more time in nature and eating fruit from the trees to load on microorganisms. Wow, that's really incredible. It blows me away. I'm so happy to hear that. It's a free resource. Link is in the description. So subscribe. And I'm saying subscribe because you guys aren't going to know when the next episode's going to come out. Because guess what? I have a surprise episode coming out pretty soon, but I'm not sure what hour, what day this week, but it's coming out, and in order to hear it, you got to subscribe so that, boom, you know right away. So important. So let's talk about B12 a little bit. Jenny says, the B12 episode is amazing. So much information. I've listened to it at least 4 times so far. So helpful. So grateful to you in spirit. Thanks for listening to that one. I'm so glad you heard that one. 4 times is really smart as far as listening to it, because if you listen to it once, you're not going to get the information. There's too much information in there, you guys. So it's not about listening to it once. Listen to it again so you can learn. And it's so important. It is. So let's talk B12. Alana says, what kind of B12? Adenosylcobalamin, methylcobalamin, both those combined. You can check out my directory, medicalmedium.com, so you know the best stuff that I use for my family, that I use for my close dear friends, that I use personally at medicalmedium.com. I have a supplement directory right there, and I'm not the owner of all those companies. I'm not the owner of those companies. I'm not sponsored by those companies, so something to know that's really important. So it's just it's another free resource, so you know what best B12 to use, what best products to use. So that's there. It's just there for you guys. Of course, at least you have that option. You guys, I want to make sure you get the information you need. The B12 episode hit a lot of chords with people. Some people are freaking. They're just like, okay, wait a minute, I had a blood test. My B12 was low. What do I do? What route do I go? Or my B12's high. Wait a minute, I don't get my B12 from meat and chicken and eggs, so where do I get it from? And the episode's packed with that information. It's really important to know. And Tammy says, I'm drinking my lemon water right now. That's incredible. I'm drinking lemon balm tea right now. Anyway, that's what I have right here. So, you guys, it's really important about hand in hand, the B12, making sure that's involved in your life with neurological symptoms, tics, spasms, burning skin, jaw pain, neck pain, trigeminal neuralgia, vagus nerve issues, which is a big part of all this, anxiety, depression, right? Eye floaters, ringing in the ears, popping, buzzing, humming in the body, restless leg syndrome, insomnia. I'm trying to think of many more of these symptoms. You guys know any? Neuropathy, plantar fasciitis. That one alone is just, that's the nerves down there, right? Sciatic nerve issues, back pain, hip pain, anything neurological, okay, all of it. Well, hey, these symptoms are important. Burning tongue, what about that? Vibrations in the body, all of that. So itchiness in weird places, where you're like, well, I'm scratching, but it's not taking care of it, but I feel itchy. All these neurological symptoms, you got to listen to that episode, Neurological Symptoms. That's an important one. Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts. If you just got on here, please listen to the episode. Subscribe. It's Medical Meeting Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Critical to hear the episodes. A free resource. Share it with others so people can heal. You know about the meditations? Jamelia said, I had the most amazing experience listening subconsciously asleep to the moon meditation. Oh my God, that is incredible. You can fall asleep during these meditations. There's the moon meditation. There's the brain meditation. There's a free as a bird meditation. It's really incredible, Hey, Monica says, hi, Anthony. Good to see you this afternoon. I'm glad to be here, you guys. Glad to be here. Jennifer McCall says, oh my God, Soul's Gold. The episode, oh my God, fabulous. You guys are, the bottom line is, look, the B12, check it out. That's important. Check that one out. B12, trick or treat. You don't get it from meat. And that's one thing that people are so confused about. It's like, hey, wait a minute. There's all these meat eaters in the world. Why are they low in B12? How come they're having problems? How come they're in their dentist chairs? How come all this other stuff? And By the way, I mentioned dentist chair. Make sure you listen to the apple cider vinegar episode. Teeth dissolver, check it out. Such an important episode. Monica says, love your podcast. So happy that you do. You guys, look, I mean, I want this podcast to not be just this thing about me. I don't want it about me. And that's the thing. I noticed, I get it. People do their podcasts out there. Not everybody, but a lot of people do their podcasts out there and they have guests on and they want to kind of like talk about all kinds of stuff about themselves and stuff. It's like, wait a minute here. This is about people who are struggling, people who have real symptoms, people who are suffering, people who have conditions. This has got to be about you guys. And the Medical Medium podcast is like a docu-series style. It's not coffee talk, throwaway, cotton candy episodes. It is literally messages from Spirit in there, information from above, life-changing information to help you heal. And Spirit of Compassion is all within these episodes. So it's really important to have this information. Monica says, you are so amazing, Anthony. You care so much. I was in tears listening to your podcast. Wow. That's incredible. I wonder what episode did you hear? Did you do the meditations? Joshua S. Eldridge says, I love the explanation of microorganisms. It reminded me of a Marvel movie like Ant-Man. That's incredible. People don't realize that it's microorganisms in your ileum, in your gut, in your ileum. And in that ileum down here, okay, it's really important that these microorganisms get in there, and we only get them in once in a while. Like if you had an apple off of a tree, if you had, a cucumber out of somebody's garden, if you grew some parsley out of a pot, or, a pot you have like outside your little terrace there, or maybe you're just, you're in an apartment building and all you have is your kitchen with a little window, and then you grow some sprouts, like in a sprout tray, you guys. And what happens is these microorganisms, they actually appear. They do grow on all of this living produce that we can grow, like a little garden with some kale growing out of it. Maybe you have that option once in your life. It helps just to have it once. And then these little microorganisms are on these plants. And I talk about this at the Medical Medium podcast at Apple Podcasts, the B12 episode. You got to check it out, because I really go into it in depth in there, really. And these microorganisms, when you eat them, they bypass the stomach, they find their way to the ileum, and then they start producing the coenzyme. But it's not quite 100% in its valuable form yet until it hits the liver, and I talk all about it. So important. Lorraine L., I'm looking forward to full moon next week, planning to do the moon meditation every day. I think I read a comment, Lorraine, that you said that you prefer waiting for you've done the moon meditation, but I think you said something like you were waiting for the full moon coming, and that's when you were going to do it all over again. So it's so great that you're doing that. So proud of you. And people don't think I read the comments, but I read the comments. I just have I have so many things going on all at once while I'm trying to read them, and it's hard for me to respond because I have so many things. Oh my God. Karen, love your podcast, really are life-changing, and we should share it everywhere so more people can listen to you and heal. Thank you. I'm honored, Karen, because sharing it's really important. You guys, tell people to subscribe, please, because it's important at Apple Podcasts, Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. So you're subscribing to Medical Medium Podcast, because what happens is when I come out with the next episode, you want to be there when you want to get the notification that it's out now. Just so you don't miss it and time doesn't go by and all this other stuff. The link is in the description. Check it out. The link is in the description. You guys, so proud of all you're doing. So I just want to go into this a little bit. Just because our B12 is high doesn't mean we are using it. Doesn't mean we're actually utilizing it, assimilating, absorbing it. It could be in our bloodstream from the animal products that we're eating, but yet it's not going into our nervous system. And as the years go by, we start getting some different symptoms, for all kinds of problems that I talk about in the neurological episode. So what I recommend, okay, if you guys have a chance, what I recommend is listen to the B12 episode and listen to the neurological symptoms episode. Okay, link is in the description. B12 episode and neurological episode. Subscribe to the Medical Medium Podcast too. And the reason why it's important to listen to both of those is because B12 is critical for neurological symptoms. And I talk about why and everything. Alexandra, Sophia said, I did the moon meditation 3 times last night after experiencing emotional pain. And the meditation completely calmed me and took pain to 0. Oh my God. It's so important. That's so important. It helps with anxiety. It helps with depression. It really helps with all of it. The moon meditation really helps with anxiety. Really helps. Check it out. The moon meditation at Medical Meaning Podcast at Apple Podcast. Link is in the description. It helps with anxiety. It helps with the vagus nerve. It helps with our souls. It helps with our soul, with emotional injuries. Betrayal. Have you guys ever been betrayed? I mean, in your life, I have. In my life, I have. Have you guys ever been betrayed? I mean, if you're lucky if you haven't had that happen to you. Broken trust. Have you ever had that happen in your life where your trust gets busted by others you trusted? Okay, that's in the episode, by the way. That's in the moon meditation episode. I think it's in that one. I was shocked at how much, the thing is, I'm trying to read these comments. They keep on flying up so fast, so it's hard. You guys, it's the thing with the moon meditation is when our souls get injured by so much, and I'm talking about broken trust, betrayal, broken relationships, hardships, losses, all these different issues. I got to tell you guys, it's really painful, but we carry these wounds with us. And then we're afraid to trust. And then we're like, well, I can't trust that person, and I can't trust this person. I don't know what to do. I can't trust this decision I'm supposed to do. Like, where do I go? And what happens is that we get to a place in our life where we just don't trust anymore, and the wounds stick with us. And I want you guys to be able to release that and be able to heal that. I've used the meditations my whole life to heal any wounds that I've gotten over the years. And I want you guys to have that opportunity. That's why the moon meditation, do it on a regular basis, all that. Michelle Miller said, laugh out loud, I love your rhymes. Yeah, I mean, the next episode, I'm going to be cranking them out in the next episode that's coming, so wait till you hear that too. Catherine Elizabeth says, hey, Catherine Elizabeth, glad you're here today. The podcasts are eye-opening, and the meditations are so powerful, incredible. Moon meditation is awesome. You guys, I want you to have these meditations. Share them with others. Tell people to subscribe if you can. That's really important too, so you can actually get the next episode notification, because I got one coming out. I wanted to tell you guys what was coming out, and I was going to do that, but you gotta have a surprise. It's a surprise. I think it's a really good one. I want you guys to hear it. But the B12, really important episode with the neurological symptoms episode. Alani says, so to get meditations, I need to go to podcasts? Thank you. Oh, to get the meditations, it's for free. Okay. The link is in the description. Just go to Medical Meaning Podcast at Apple Podcast. Medical Meaning Podcast at Apple Podcast. That's where you go. Danny, what are your thoughts to mono eating? Well, there's a book behind me right here. Okay, Cleanse to Heal. I have a whole mono eating section right there. People are healing all around the world through the mono eating diets, the Medical Meaning mono eating diets and cleanses. The mono eating cleanse is so important. You can eat mono eating that way and learn how to do it. Sunday says, hi, Anthony. I love all your podcasts and I share them with everybody. Thank you so much for the work that you do for all of us. Can you please do one on mold and go in depth with it, since I got fungus infection and got poison with it? Please. Okay, I will. I'm going to do one on mold. There's no way I'm not. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it soon. I'm going to make sure it's in gear because I want you to get those answers. It's so important. It really is. I really want to do one. So Ingrid said, love your podcast. Thank you. So glad. So you guys, I don't know where to go with these. You got the B12 with all the information on it, how it works, the microorganisms, how B12 works, the vagus nerve, the phrenic nerves, our nervous system, the neurological symptoms episode. Listen to that if you get a chance. The brain fog episode, listen to that one if you get a chance. And then the coffee, caffeine, right? Coffee, matcha tea, chocolate, caffeine, that episode right there. Have you guys heard that one? Trisha Marie's here today. My gosh, yes, mold and chemicals have damaged me too. Oh my God, not good, not good. I want you to heal. I want you to get past that. So I'll do a mold one, okay, without a doubt, because with mold sensitivities and you get chemical sensitivities too, with all of it, they kind of come together. So yeah, 100% I have to do that. So I'm going to have to look out for you. So definitely, Trisha. So you guys, all right, so what would I do if I had some neurological symptoms, okay? So if I had some ringing in the ears and some dizziness, feeling of being on a boat, aches and pains, the anxiety, the tics and spasms, and all the other different symptoms, what I would listen to the podcast. That's what I would do. Learn about those neurological symptoms. Listen to the B12 one. See, I'm kind of giving you direction, yeah, B12 plays a role, and a big role in how we get these neurological things under control. So important. So there's that. The brain fog episode is another one. You can learn about what brain fog is. That's a neurological symptom, by the way, so that's important. Nika says, I'm loving the music and the podcast combined with your voice. It's so powerful. That's incredible. I can't believe it. And so Carmen said, coffee, matcha tea has truths. Yeah, totally. That episode is really, really incredible. I'll tell you, I want you guys to have as much information as you possibly can. I want you to heal. These are not throwaway. When you hear the word podcast, what I always thought when I heard the word podcast in the past, I always thought, well, because the old radio show I did was never a podcast. You guys, it was an old radio show. And then, you could hear it as a podcast, but it wasn't a podcast. This is the official Medical Meaning podcast, right, at Apple Podcast. And what I always heard about podcasts was I always thought, well, throwaways. It's just like get as many guests as you can have on, talk a little bit about this and that, ask a few quick questions, next. There's just like kind of like cotton candy, and you get a tidbit here, get a tidbit there, but then there's all this confusion. Well, that's what I've always thought about with podcasts, but there's some good ones out there, but still. But with this, I said, you know what? Don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want information packed line for line. I want people healing, more people healing, just like they are with the Cleanse to Heal book. I want people getting their lives back. I want to make sure this has messages in it. This has information in it. That this is a docu-series style. This is not coffee talk. I want you guys better, and I want you guys healing. And that's what I want. So important. And so the bottom line is a B12 episode, really important there. Think about central nervous system. Think about vagus nerve. Think about phrenic nerves. Think about back, like sciatic nerve, okay? Tibial nerve, all the different nerves. It's so important. So I'm going to Tracy says do a podcast on eyes. Yeah, okay. I will definitely do one on eyes eventually. I promise I'll try to get to that. Alexandra says, all podcasts are mind-blowing. Re-listen to Fruit Fear. Wow. Fruit Fear. When you hear Fruit Fear a second time, it blows your mind. It blew my mind when I hear it again. Because it's like, wait, did I say that? Did I actually say that in there? And then you hear it and you're like, what? It's that kind of thing. But yeah, the information is really packed, the whole bit. Sergeant Saroj says, hi, Anthony, please do a grounding meditation. I love all your podcasts. A grounding one. Oh my God, do you mean like the one in Medical Meaning Book 1? That one, the grounding one? Like you're a tree and your feet go down into the root, like you grow roots off your feet into the earth? Well, I have a grounding one. I will do that one. Make sure it's a guided meditation eventually for you guys. I'll make that happen for you guys too, because that would be a really powerful one for you guys. Definitely. It's in Medical Meaning Book 1. And anyway, so Candace says, how do you know how much B12 to take? I really appreciate everything you're doing, sir. You're a true savior. Kenneth, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for being here. So awesome to see you. And how do you know how much B12 to take? Well, it works like this. It's really tricky where I put dosages all in Cleanse to Heal. So I do put dosages for all kinds of different conditions in Cleanse to Heal so people have an idea. And they could always do less. They could talk to their doctor. They could do more, whatever they want to do. But I always look at it this way. If you don't have any going in you, that's not going to help the situation, especially if you have neurological symptoms or anything like that. So it's important to get enough in you. At the same time, we burn through it. We burn through B12. We utilize it so quickly. Are you under stress? Is anything happening in your life? Did you have a hardship? Were you under a lot of pressure on something? Emotional struggle? Did something happen? Any of that? Are you working hard? Are you getting enough sleep? And are you dealing with symptoms and conditions? So, and if you're dealing with symptoms and conditions, then it's always good to take more of it. What do? I mean, if I had a B12 in front of me right now, I'd show you right here. But what I do is I take myself personally, is I'll take like 2 dropperfuls here, 2 dropperfuls there, depending on what's happening. And lately I've been taking more. I've been taking 2 dropperfuls and another 2 dropperfuls in a day, another 2 dropperfuls in a day. I've been doing like 4 to 6 for me personally. That's what I do personally, but that's me, so I'm just letting you know. Amy says, listening to the coffee podcast, and it's mind-blowing, incredible. By the way, if you guys, check out medicalmeme.com. If you know what kind of, if you have a B12 you like, fine, but make sure there's no preservatives in there. Make sure there's no alcohol in there and all these different preservatives, no citric acid, all this junk in there. And if you look at medicalmeme.com, you'll see I have a supplement directory with the right stuff that I use. The stuff that I use I know is safe. Carmen says, thank you for sharing more details in these new podcasts. I'm sharing things in these podcasts I've never shared anywhere. Never anywhere. It's Emma Grace. Hey, Emma. Your voice sounds like Michael J. Fox. Laugh out loud. I love your podcast. That's so cool. Hey, that's really cool. You guys are amazing. Are you guys doing your celery juice, by the way? I wish I had one right here on me. Anyway, any of you guys have a celery juice I could borrow right now? I could just reach through the video camera and grab one off your kitchen counter and drink it. That would be so cool. You guys, I just want to make sure you guys get the information you need so you can heal. Link is in the description. Check it out. The link is in the description. It's a free resource. Don't just listen to one. Listen to a bunch of them. Like take some time out. Listen to the B12. Listen to neurological. Do a meditation. Listen to the coffee one. Coffee, matcha tea, chocolate one. Listen to that one. By the way, I'm kind of caught. Don't know which one's my favorite one anymore. I think the coffee, matcha tea, and chocolate, I listened to that one again. I think it might be that one. The air fresheners episode, that's a mind blower. The air fresheners episode, check that out. You guys, I want to offer this free resource. There's no commercials. There's no advertisements. There's no infomercials. At least right now there isn't, and that's because I want to keep it that way as long as I can. But you guys, there's none of that there. It's free. Subscribe. Link is in the description so you can be notified for my next one. And my next one is coming out pretty darn soon. And I hope it doesn't disappoint because, man, I'm making sure the information's in there. I really am, because I want you guys getting that information. Peter says, AW, I'm a massage therapist, by the way, which is, I respect massage therapy more than probably anything out there. Because it's ancient, number one. Ancient. Massage goes back as far as human beings existed. It goes all the way back, long before herbal medicine, long before anything. I'm a massage therapist. I lost my faith in massage. Can you do a podcast on benefits of massage therapy? Absolutely. Look, there's no question. I could tell you right now, it's the oldest form of healing therapy. The oldest modality. The minute human beings existed on planet Earth, okay, going all the way back, which is a whole nother thing too, that I get information from with Spirit of Compassion, that's fun stuff I do on the side. And I'm like, when I need to change up, I'm like, hey, when did this happen? But as far as human beings have gone back in our history, that was the first healing modality for humankind. And by far, still incredible and the best, I mean, people say to me, hey, I got this going on. You need to get a massage because you're getting touched by another human that cares, that wants to make sure they actually, they move energetically, all the energy there. There's light coming out of their hands as they're working on you. I mean, you name it. I could talk about it all day. Anyway, look, you guys, link is in the description. You got the B12 episode, neurological episode. I like those together because it's like, look, B12, neurological. we want to get all those neurological symptoms better. Well, we got the B12, like they got to be linked in. They got to be put together. That's how you do it. Listen to the apple cider vinegar episode if you haven't, okay? Because I got to kind of look out for you there to make sure you're not down in this stuff. Hey, I got 6 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in here right now in my herbal tea. I put 6 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in there. I'm just going to dissolve my teeth right now. That's good, and make sure that I burn out my stomach glands like apple cider vinegar does, and make sure I cause some other problems, like all the other stuff it does. But just listen, I don't have apple cider vinegar in here. Just look out for that, okay? And hear the episode. If I just got you upset, please hear the episode. Randy, hey, what's up? I have listened to every episode, and they are all fantastic. Yay! That's the best compliment. You listen to all the episodes. That's a chemtrail episode, the egg episode, the fruit fear episode, the air freshener episode, brain fog episode, moon meditation, brain meditation, free as a bird meditation, apple cider vinegar, B12, neurological symptoms. Probably missing one. I'm probably missing one. That's really great. So anyway, you guys, really, I stand with you about all this stuff. I want you guys to heal. I want you getting the information. I want you to have all that you need. And this is a new way of doing it. I try to give you what I can here. And you got Cleanse to Heal to back you up. You got that. That's a medical textbook with 75 recipes and over 200 different symptoms and conditions I talk about in there. So make sure you check out Cleanse to Heal behind me. It's a New York Times best-selling book. That's my 6th book. New York Times best-selling book. It's all over the world right now. It's saving lives. Check that out if you can. It's on sale at Amazon US. Get it free at the library if you want. But you guys, I just want to make sure, what can I do for you? What else? I put out the best, most comprehensive book on health ever that's out there, with cleansing and everything else in recipes and conditions, including supplements and dosages. I put that out there for you. I got this podcast going, okay, with and these are docu-series podcast episodes. They're not coffee talk, throw it away. And I got that going. What else can I do? I'm here. I'm trying to spend time with lives with you guys. I just love you guys, and I just want you guys to get a chance to heal. Because when I go to bed at night, it's like, okay, who's suffering? Okay, who's in bed? Who's on Mattress Island, and they can't live their best life? Are they getting any answers? I wake up in the morning. It's like, what more can I do, God? It's like, God, what more can I do? What more can I do? I need to make sure you guys get some healing, one way or another, the whole bit. Alexandra says, I want to see Cleanse to Heal go to #1 New York Times bestseller. It's really a great book, isn't it? It's a really incredible. Ola says, love all your podcasts, books, and lives. Incredible, powerful, very grateful for you, energy and care and compassion. I'm glad you guys like the podcast episodes, because every now and then you'll get a troll that's like, oh, there he goes. He's all arrogant. It's like every now and again you'll get a troll, and the troll will be like, here you put your heart and soul into the podcast episode, right? You give all this information out that no one has out there, that nobody has, right? That's proven to save lives too. You give all this information out there, and then you do it with an open heart because you want to get somebody better, and then a troll will go, there he goes, he's arrogant again on his episodes, he's being arrogant. It's like, okay, if that's what you think. Christina said, this podcast is the best thing ever. Couldn't ask for anything else. Christina, blown away. I'm blown away, okay? Because that's why I'm doing it, so that you get something that helps in any way. And I hope you guys are okay with my sense of humor. That's in the podcast episodes, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's a lot of experiences that I've seen out there and had, and all this thing. I talk to doctors all the time, and I hear all these experiences. So I kind of I put the information in there. So it's important that you have the information. Alexandra says, love all the podcasts. You're amazing. So you guys, the B12 episode, neurological episode, focus on those if you can. Maybe from there, go to the caffeine matcha tea chocolate episode. You don't have to quit your caffeine, but listen to the episode, and maybe you might want to. You never know, and then you can check out the other episodes. But you guys, I'm really proud of all of you. I know you're working really hard. So hey, I want you guys to know about B12, how it gets absorbed, how we create it, all of it. Kim West, hey Kim, love your sense of humor. It helps us to keep a light heart, as you say. So cool. Gina says, please keep the sense of humor in your podcast. Okay, I will. I got an episode coming out. I want you to make sure you subscribe so you get the episode, right away. Medical Meme Podcast at Apple Podcast. Link is in the description, so you can hear what kind of humor I might have going on. Annabeth, podcasts are absolutely fantastic. I am a real doctor, and I thank you for everything. Thank you for everyone who is sick. Thank you for doing the work you're doing. Thank you for being here. It's so great. Much light and love. I love your sense of humor. It keeps me laughing during it. Yeah. And Ludmilla says, love your sense of humor. You guys are the best. Chris Flanell says, love your sense of humor. That's funny, The funny thing is, you guys, when I'm doing the podcast episode to get it ready for you, I end up laughing too with it, and all of a sudden, sometimes it makes me laugh while I'm doing it a little too hard. But hey, yeah, I'm just being silly. You guys, look, I just want to make sure you have every opportunity to heal. Neurological symptoms, really hard on people in so many ways. And then when you learn about B12 and how it works and you put those two together, you got a fighting chance. I love you guys. Bless your heart. I will see you next time. Check it out. Link is in the description. And take care.